And you know what? We're not hating on you, just like we're
We're
not
not.
hating on the Dodgers bringing in, on an extension, I should say,
Well,
our boy, Tommy
yeah.
Tanks, Jess.
T-
Five
Tommy Tanks,
year, 75 mil. Am I correct?
5 years, 74 million
74.
for Tommy Tanks.
That's a come
Yeah.
up. Come up, dude.
It's what was your first reaction? Because we knew, like I think a week ago, that the Dodgers were likely that they were working on an extension with Edman. We knew that was a possibility. Were you anticipating this? Were you confident they were going to get this done? Or because remember, we knew we had Edman for next year. We knew that he wasn't going anywhere for next season. But when I heard they were working on an extension, that was music to my ears, because what it said to me was, oh, they're officially moving on from Chris Taylor. That was my original take, was they're ready to move on from Chris Taylor as their versatile, like all over the field piece. And the comp is there because the contract is very similar.
Yeah, and not only is the contract very similar, but he was pretty much obtained for spare parts, right? Much like Chris Taylor from Seattle. I think it was Jerry DiPoto is the owner over there, or whatever, GM over for Seattle. I think he said it was the worst trade he's ever made.
Yeah.
And it feels like every trade the Cardinals is made over the last couple of years has been the worst trade they've ever made. From a Rosarena to the slugger over in Texas. My goodness. Oh man.
Adonis Garcia. Yeah.
Adolis Garcia. Yeah. Now Tommy Ed. Yeah, I think like you said, it's the heir apparent to a linchpin in the Dodgers formula, right? Hyper versatility, a guy that can play center field, shortstop, at a plus defensive clip, switch hitter, hits for power, average. But I did see a little bit of some hate out in the streets, saying that he was just on a hot streak.
A heater.
Hot streak, tomato, tomato,
Yeah.
whatever. But he was on a good old Tommy Tankin session over the playoffs. But I don't buy into that. I think that it was a really, really exciting pickup. Even knowing that he was coming off an injury, the ceiling on him was just so high, and I think we got a good little glimpse of what he can do. And I think, Jess, you'll agree with me on this, but I think it adds some leverage almost to negotiations with some other players. Why don't you take that away from me?
Yeah. So before I get into that, I just want to revisit, because you mentioned the trade. In that trade for Tommy Edman, and that was also the Michael Kopech trade.
Yes,
The Dodgers also got Kopech from the White Sox in that trade. So the Cardinals got Eric Fetty, Tommy Pham, and cash considerations. The Dodgers got Edman, Michael Kopech, and Oliver Gonzalez, who we did not see. The White Sox got Miguel Vargas, R.I.P. We wish you nothing but the best, Miguel. They also got infield prospect Jarrell Perez and Alexander Albertus, and a player to be named later, or cash considerations. The Dodgers basically, like you said, spare parts. We had the Miguel Vargas experiment had run out. This is arguably one of the best trades the Dodgers have ever made in the Friedman era, because it led to a World Series win. You cannot tell me that Tommy Edman and Michael Kopech did not directly contribute to this team winning a World Series, especially Edman. Dodgers do not win a World Series without those two players. Just, you cannot change my mind on that.
Yeah.
I think that was a World Series winning trade. Like, no question about it. And extending Edman makes all the sense in the world. Really, I want to get to my point about leverage. Were you going to ask me something?
No, I just wanted to add real quick. Andrew Freeman in Blake Snell's press conference today was asked about his aggressiveness in the offseason, and he said that he doesn't want to pay an exorbitant price in July when he could pay right now. And it's not necessarily like a homegrown deal, but these are market price. Snell was a little bit more of a creative contract, deferred money, signing bonus, what have you. But Tommy, just a freaking good sign, or a good trade and sign, I love
It does include deferred money, by the way.
Good,
Just
dude.
FYI.
Good, dude. I think the Dodgers are at like $960 million.
964, yeah.
Since 2020. Incredible.
One thing I want to say before we move on, the thing about this that people have to realize, it's important that the Dodgers got this off the board early. That's why signing Snell early was so important, and signing Edman was so important. It's two very different reasons, but similar reasons. Signing Snell early, you set the market for the free agent pitching market where you can sort of screw over other teams that are going to be paying top dollar for Corbin Burns or Max Fried. But also, you get your guy early because Snell was in a position where, hey, he was willing to accept certain offers where he didn't want to have to go down that road of a long offseason again, of signing a contract like a few weeks before the season started. So it was smart of the Dodgers to do that. Secondly, for Tommy Edman, Dodgers, they're in a position where they have to try to get Teoscar Hernandez back. They have to try to fill the shortstop role. So what they did, the first two things that they did was they signed Miguel Rojas to an extension. They got him back so he can play some shortstop. They also signed Tommy Edman. Both those two guys can fill shortstop and center field if needed. Tommy Edman especially. He can play multiple positions so that when you're negotiating with Teoscar Hernandez or, like, let's say a Willy Adames out there in the free agent market, those guys want to come to LA. You have some leveraging power. You can tell them, hey, you're gonna have to shave a few million off because we don't necessarily need you.
Wow.
We have those spots filled. I don't like saying it because I want to see the best players get paid. But you want to come to the Dodgers. We're over the luxury tax. This is just good business by the Dodgers. Very smart for them to get this out of the way now to let teams know, hey, you want to sign a 6-year deal? We have Tommy Edman here for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to necessarily need you for 6 years. You know, so it just provides a little extra leveraging power by Friedman and the Dodgers. Just smart stuff.
Totally agree. I think you nailed it right there, brother.
Yeah. So